in the latest chapter of One Piece, chapter 1160. We are literally right there, definitely in God Valley, and this is called the God Valley Incident. And we're gonna be talking about legends today, going one against the other in God Valley. And as it starts, we have Yamato, that's actually in the cover page like usual in a way, and she is now in front of the flower capital in Wano, and she is basically back from her adventures in Wano Kuni and all of that, and now she's probably gonna start on doing something new. But then as we jumping into the next page, into the first page, basically we are literally boom back to God's Valley. And in God Valley we have the biggest tournament that the Celestial Dragons are gonna start, and literally they are about to start going around and killing people after people after people and getting points because they are actually in competition against each other so that they can get the most points they can get, and at the end, if they have the most points, they can win a treasure chest basically. And in all of those treasure chests, we don't know per se what's in all of them, but we just know what's in like 2 of them, for example. And from what we also got, Eiichiro Oda basically in this chapter came up with actually not 6 but 9 treasures. So instead of 6 we have 9 today, and I will talk about that theory by the end of the video. So hopefully you stick on to the end, because I will tell you why Eiichiro Oda decided, hey, instead of having 6 treasure chests, we're gonna have 9. I will tell you the reason by the end, so stick in. And from the first page, as we are getting this monstrosity that's going on in God Valley, and all of the Celestial Dragons are like, yeah, let's go, let's kill the Navy clan and all of that. We also get a shot of the little Blackbeard that's with his mom, and we can see Blackbeard's mom right here in one of the little pages, and they are literally absolutely shocked by what they are seeing in front of them. Basically, they are seeing the highest authorities in the world of One Piece, and they are the ones saying, yeah, we'll kill them all and all of that. Like, we are gonna basically go through the whole island, destroy everything, and maybe even sink the whole island to the underground and all of that. Like, that is absolutely craziness. And at the same time, we also get a shot of Monkey D. Dragon, which I call the biggest hero in a way of God Valley, because he is the only one basically who's always questioning what's going on in here. Hey, is this actually right? What's going on? Why are we doing this to civilians? And why is everybody using like smoke and all of that to make everybody sleep and all of that? Like, what is actually going on, and what is the Marine about? Because this is actually not right, you know? And basically he's having a little discussion with somebody, and that somebody is the mother of Shanks and Shamrock. And the mother, after the previous chapter where basically she got stabbed by Saint Garling, because he was like, yeah, no, you're not the one. The one is Shaki that I'm gonna marry or whatever. I'm telling you, Saint Garling is an ass. But from this discussion, the mother of Shanks and Shamrock is talking to Monkey D. Garp, and she's like, yeah, can you please go and save them, and please don't let that man have them. So the mother of Shanks and Shamrock did not want Saint Garling to actually have his own kids, basically, because he stabbed her, which is understandable, you know. And so from that point on, he basically has to save Shanks and Shamrock, and they're right there, and he basically picks them up and goes, you know, with them. So in a way, Monkey D. Dragon is the savior of Shanks and Shamrock. How did he actually save them? I will let you know by the end of this video, guys. I am telling you, I've got my theory, and my theory is ready to go. I am telling you. And Dragon, in his subconscious in here, he is saying, you and your children may be strangers to me, but I want to help. If I can't do that much, then I have no business standing here. So I am sorry, but the only one basically who understands the true purpose of the Marines, which is to fight those evil people, the bad people and all of that are kidnapping people and doing very bad stuff and all of that, like, this is the why he got into the Marines. And when he sees that he's absolutely doing the contrary of that, that's it. Monkey D. Dragon is about to lose it, and he's about to do something even crazier in this chapter. So hang on tight, because there's a lot of information, guys. And also there's a lot of similarities with Luffy too. And so as we move into the next page, we see that there are 150 rare rabbits to hunt down. That's not to mention the 13 super rare ones. So we understand that this is one of the celestial dragon that's actually saying that. And from there we understand that the 150 rare rabbits, in a way, that they have to hunt down is pretty much 150 people that they have to hunt down around God's Valley. And as soon as they kill them, they get more points. And so from those rare rabbits, whatever they're called, I probably guess that they are getting like 1,000 points from those rare rabbits. But then when it comes to the super rare rabbits, the 13, you can actually get 10,000 points if you get one of them or two or whatever. And for example, one of the 13 ones is Kuma, a buccaneer. So we understand that to be one of the super rares, you really have that criteria of, yeah, even him does not want to see you even exist on this planet or something like that. That's why I'm gonna be talking about the possibilities of who is those 13 super rare rabbits and who is those 150 rare rabbits in one of my next videos, guys. So hopefully you tune in, because this is some very important information. But right after that, the hunt actually begins. And now the celestial dragons and everything tell everybody, you guys have 1 hour. And then after that 1 hour, you gotta hide and all of that. But after that 1 hour, boom, done. We are here to actually come and get you and kill you, and we will find you. And so that's what started to happen. And also there is a limit. The limit is 3 weeks. So if they survive for 3 weeks, they will actually make it out of God Valley. But don't believe in the celestial dragons too much, because the celestial dragons don't want no trace of whatever is going on God Valley. So even if you make it out into 3 weeks, that tells me that they just tell you that so that they make you more determined to actually go and hide over there and keep on hiding and keep the hunt alive and well for 3 weeks, basically. So literally it is just a manipulation tactic that the celestial dragons are actually using against people, to actually give them that determination that will keep everything alive for 3 weeks of pure hunting and killing, which is absolutely nuts. And in one of the next pages, for example, we see that one of the celestial dragons is going on the hunt and he finds some people. And as soon as he finds the people are like, please don't, I have a child, I have a wife, whatever. And so you basically see the husband, the wife, and the child, and you just see 3 bangs. You don't see per se what happened, but what happened is pretty dark, because you understand that basically that celestial dragon killed the husband, the wife, and the kid, basically. Like, absolutely crazy how they don't have no sympathy for any humans. They don't have no dignity, they don't have no nothing for no one. And basically this is where you can literally clearly see them as they are the true devils of the world of One Piece. I am sorry, because when you compare a Luffy to a celestial dragon, who is more devilish in this shit? Who is doing more harm to people, to even civilians and all of that? And as everything is going on and they are killing people left and right, you can also see that in the home of the gods, the holy land of Mary Joie, they have also TVs left and right, and people are actually watching on TV their comrades or whatever kill other people and root for the families and all of that. And in here, for example, you get the name. The Figurelands are in the lead, but the Bavette and the Manmeyer families are hot in their tail. And that's where you start to get to see some of the God's Knights. For example, Garling is slashing through people left and right, and all of the celestial dragons are like, yes, yes, Garling, and all of that. But at the same time, we get a very interesting name in here, and that name is the God's Steel. And I'm probably guessing that God's Steel, since they're saying that, oh yeah, we have the God's Steel that's here with us in the tournament, whatever, so we will win or whatever. And right at that next page, we get the picture of Saint Gumko, and she is in here a God's Knight from the House Manmeyer. And House Manmeyer here scores another massive round of bonus points. And basically you see that she's basically stabbing everybody with that arrow thingy that she's got, that weird fruit that she's got, you know? And as you still jump to the next page, you see Summers. We recognize Summers, and Summers is going after a little kid, and that little kid is on top of the tree and he's afraid to come down. But as Summers is the one who's down, he's like, yeah, kid, just jump in. You'll jump on those this thorny cushion or something like that. So you understand that Summers does not care also about kids, and he's literally ready to get himself a point, and he's ready to basically get that child. And in here we also have the example that Summers was actually talking about on Elbaf, when he was saying that the best kind of way to actually hurt somebody is to actually start on hurting the kid or whatever, and that's how you hurt even the person. And that moment he was talking about, that's what we got in here, where he was trying to hurt the kid or whatever, but as soon as the parents saw it and his dad basically saw what was going on, he was ready to jump in and help, but instead of helping, now both of them are dead, you know? So you can see that Summers is pretty much evil. Boom, we jump into the next page where we have Dragon, and Dragon is looking at his men, and Dragon is looking at people basically dead on the ground, and he's like, I thought by helping her I could defy the celestial dragons. So he thought that by helping Shanks' mom and Shamrock that he could defy the celestial dragons, but yet when he turns around and he sees that everybody basically is dead, he is like, yet my entire platoon ended up executed. So literally to the point where even if you're trying to mingle into the celestial dragons affairs or whatever, they will literally shoot you and make you disappear, because they don't want no one to actually leak no information whatsoever. And right as we jump to some of the Marines, one of his colleagues is actually saying, where the hell did that dragon kid go? Don't tell me he went to meddle with what's happening on the island. So they pretty much know that you should not go around looking at what's going on around on the island when the celestial dragons were there, and he shouldn't have done that. And maybe his platoon was on there, and that's why the whole platoon got actually shot. And in the same page, we also see that Dragon is basically behind a celestial dragon, and that celestial dragon is facing Kuma and Ivankov, and he's like, oh, this is the Buccaneer brat, and it is worth 10,000 points, so I'm gonna get his ass, that's it. And as Dragon actually sees that, and he sees that the celestial dragon is aiming his gun towards basically Kuma, the Buccaneer, and he's about to get his points, Dragon is like, I cannot allow this, and that's where you get Dragon that actually does something about the situation, and he actually shoots the celestial dragon that's in front of him with one of those tranquilizers, because you can see him basically sleeping, and he's like, damn, so he even himself, he doesn't believe what he did. He doesn't believe in the action that he took against a celestial dragon, you know, the people that they are supposed to protect, the highest authority of the world of One Piece. But when he sees that they are doing stuff like that, like at that point, what do you do? As a Marine that's supposed to be fighting for justice and shit like that, Dragon at that point basically took one of the best decisions he could. But even though that, other celestial dragons come in and still try to go for Kuma and all of that. So you can still see that Dragon is fighting a fight that he will probably lose at that point, because he's not probably that strong already. But that's where we get to see the next page, and we see the Rocks pirates come in, and the Rocks are like, okay guys, now is time to go. Now is time to fight the hardest you can and get whatever treasure we can. And this is not the time for us to actually fight, but this is the time for us to fight them, get whatever we need, and we'll share everything else later. We'll Davy everything. That's what Rocks was saying. And all of his group, all of the Rocks pirates, basically, we've got Whitebeard, we've got Stussy, we've got Lin, we've got Kaido, we've got Shiki, we've got Silver Axe. Literally everybody is here. And the only one missing is Ochoku. And he's the traitor basically, who basically got Shaki and started all of this shit. And then at the end, he was like, you know what, I'm gonna stay behind, guys, and all of that. I am telling you, that guy is very shady. And he also kind of like took advantage of the opportunity that he had. And because the Rocks, when they didn't come back to Hachinosu, he basically was left to become the new kind of emperor of Hachinosu or whatever. So he knew what he was doing in a way, that asshole of Ochoku. So from here, the Rocks pirates are coming in full throttle into the island, and everybody's like, oh no, this is bad. The pirates are here. What is the Navy doing? If anything happens to us, we'll hang you all. I am telling you, those celestial dragons, they cannot be trusted. They cannot be considered even as humans. I am telling you, those are the real devils of the One Piece world. And from there, you can also see that Dragon still has Shanks and Shamrock in his hands, and he's basically running with them. And at the same time, boom, the Roger Pirates are there. So the Roger Pirates, boom, are finally here, and they're like, and Goldie Roger is like, I am here to save you, Shaki. So we all understand basically the purpose of basically the Rocks trying to come in with the Rocks secretly going like, yeah, I need to save my family and save everybody and all of that. And at the same time, you've got Goldie Roger. He does not give a fuck about no one but Shaki. But as he's saying that, boom, actually, Goldie Roger falls on the ground, and he actually gets stomped by everybody that was, you know, going that way. I am telling you, seeing Goldie Roger in this state, hey, we all know how goofy Luffy was. This is how goofy Goldie Roger was back in the day. I'm sorry, but it is absolutely super funny to watch, I am telling you. But from the next page, boom, that's it. We get into some very serious stuff right now, because we see the Knights of God. And in here, we can see St. Garling that we know of, St. Summers, and all the rest we don't know of in here. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 characters that I don't know of, but I just heard of. And it looks like some of them might have died, and their families and their extended families or something, like their kids or whatever, as soon as they grow older or whatever and they train, they became the new God's Knights. But in here we get basically not the original ones, but the previous generation of the God's Knights, which had St. Garling as just the God's Knights too, but not the commander already at that point in time. And literally now they are on the go. They're like, what's going on? We're gonna defend whatever needs to get defended and all of that. And boom, as soon as you jump into the next page and the final page and all of that, you see that basically everybody is fighting on God Valley. Whitebeard is going through people left and right, but at the same time, we see somebody grab a bullet and he throws that bullet so goddamn hard, and that bullet goes basically in between Goldie Roger and Rocks, because they were fighting at the same time. And Goldie Roger and Rocks are like, hold on, what is that? What's that power coming from? And as soon as they turn, boom, Garp showed up, and he's like, I am right here. That's it, let's go. And he is ready for the fight, and everybody's ready for the fight. And so from that fight, we literally have Rocks, aka Davy. We have Goldie Roger, we have Garp, we have all of their fleets and all of that. And on the other side, you have the God's Knights and all of that, with the Celestial Dragons, of course, that need to get protected with all the situation and all of that. So basically, it is a whole freaking war that got started in God Valley. And literally the war now is about to start in between all of those characters. We don't know per se who fights who, but from all of that God Valley situation, we just understand that God Valley disappeared. Goldie Roger made it. Garp made it, Rox did not, and the God's Knights, some of them might have died from all of this situation, because we just know that, for example, Sculptor de Gaban actually fought Summers, probably because in now present they saw each other and he was like, "What's Sculptor Gaban?" So he was kind of like scared a little bit of him or something like that. So I'm probably guessing that they already fought in God's Valley right here. And when it comes to Monkey D. Dragon, I believe that Monkey D. Dragon, from what we saw in the previous 2 chapters, I am telling you, he is the one who pretty much saved Shanks, Shamrock, and Blackbeard. And my theory is, since Eiichiro Oda decided magically to jump from the number of 6 to the number of 9 of treasures on God Valley, I'm like, well, hold on. Maybe it did start as it was 6 treasures, but then there was maybe something that happened and that made it from the number 6 to the number 9. And I'm like, okay, so there's 3 more secret treasures that need to be investigated. And then on the other case, we have literally 3 kids that made it out of the God Valley. We don't know how, and it was Monkey D. Dragon that probably helped them. So hey, how about Monkey D. Dragon that went to the secret treasures and all of that, and he brought more like boxes or whatever, and he just put Shanks in one, he just put Shamrock in one, and he just put Blackbeard in one, basically to hide, because they were like, hey, if the pirates are coming for them, or if the winners or whatever are coming for them, they can pick them up and get them actually out of God Valley. And that's probably what happened, and I'm probably guessing that. Just like we know, Shanks was in a secret treasure that got picked up by Goldie Roger. So what about Shamrock and what about Blackbeard? I'm probably gonna guess that Blackbeard got probably picked up by, you know, one of the Rock's pirates or whatever, and that person didn't know. For example, let's say Lin Lin picks up that treasure and she was like, oh, there's a kid, but I don't know him, he's not mine, so you can go. And since she didn't know that Rox basically had a kid and that kid was him, she would have probably been like, you know what, you can go. Or it would have been like, for example, Shiki. For example, Shiki could have cared less. He could have, you can go, I don't care about you. For example, if he sees Blackbeard. So in that case, it totally justifies, you know. And then for the last one, which had Shamrock, maybe Garling actually figured it out, or one of the Celestial Dragon came for one of the secret treasure or whatever, and they found actually Shamrock in there, and that's why Saint Garling got back Shamrock, you know. And that's my theory about those 3 more secret treasures in a way on God Valley. You guys let me know what you think about that theory down in the comments below, and let's talk about this chapter down in the comments below. And on that note, your boy is out. Peace.